Hello, everybody. Welcome to another spooky episode on the series Pals in the month of October. And with me this week, I have a guy whose dad used to call him Jordan Jiggles. Jordan is here with us. He used to be downstairs. And Dad would say, "Hey, Jordan, stop jiggling.
Quit jiggling down there, boy.
Quit jiggling down there, boy." Jordan, welcome to the show.
Hey, Chris. Hello, everybody.
Hello out there to the spooky world. Right now, this is October. It's our second episode in the spooky October month of spookiness. We're calling it
Spookylicious.
Spookalicious. Is that the Fergie person? Fergielicious?
Fergalicious.
Yeah, that's a theme song I'll put over here. Anyway.
Nice.
Yeah, we're going to jump right into another spooky episode of the Spooky Pals. And Jordan, I want to ask you first. Do you believe in shapeshifters?
No.
Okay.
Were you like, what if I said yes?
I mean, I was thinking more maybe of a conversational type of thing, but okay. That's cool.
Let's
Let's move on. How do you feel about...
Wait, do you?
No, I mean, I don't think no. I'm not against them. I don't hate them,
yeah,
but...
They're out there. Cool to be you. That'd be awesome.
How do you feel about those faceless people in Game of Thrones?
They're cool.
Yeah.
I think that's neat.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand how it works.
Well,
but it's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, movie magic, you don't understand how special effects works. That's cool, whatever, but.
No, that's not what I'm...
Yeah, that's cool.
No.
Oh, yeah.
So you just take the
green
face
screens,
off of people and then you just become that person and you talk like them and immediately that same person's height with...
I don't know. I didn't
read
the damn book.
That's what happened in the show. I don't know what.
I watched it, but I watched the entire series, and as many people say, and we've talked many times, it kind of comes in like a walrus and out like a poop. I don't know.
I'll like a make.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I brought up shapeshifters this week because we're gonna fly, take a walk aboard a ship, take a train all the way to Japan.
Ooh, I like it.
We're going to talk about a yokai, Japanese yokai.
We've talked about one of those before.
We have?
Yep.
Who?
The little Ninja Turtle one.
Oh, Kappa. Yeah. Yes, the Kappa. Yes. We're going to talk about another yokai, a spooky yokai. I don't know if this is spooky. It seems hella scary to me.
Okay.
And you may be like, oh, you suck. You're such a baby. Whatever, I'm okay with that. Anyway.
like, I'm good
with that. Shake it right off.
Shrug those shoulders, shake it off.
So, the yokai. We went over them before. I think we talked about them in the beginning.
Briefly, yeah.
The yokai are just, again, to review, in Japan, there is a rich folklore mythology filled with spirits, deities, and monsters known as yokai. So, some of them are good.
That's like the overall umbrella of them, yeah.
So there's some of them are good, some of them are bad. Some of them are fine.
Between.
Yeah, just there. These creatures often embody various elements of nature, human emotions, or societal fears. Yokai have been used to explain natural phenomena, entertain through storytelling, and even serve as moral lessons. So it's just like any other folklore in any other culture, right? Except Japanese culture, I think, is pretty rad.
It's much older, too.
Really? Than America? Yeah, weird. Oh, okay. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
It's much older than like European or American folklore.
Okay.
It's been around a lot longer.
I believe you.
Okay.
Among these mythical beings is a yokai, which I discovered a few weeks ago and then decided to write this episode about it because I saved it because I wanted to make it as spooky because it's like reading about it.
Yeah.
There's not a ton out there about it, but it's like, it's not so much that
it caught you.
Right. It's not so much it's going to eat your face or hit you with an axe like in the last episode when we talked about an axe murder.
Fart in your face like the Kappa. Yeah,
it's not going to do that. But it's just, if I saw this and we'd go over what it is, it's scary as hell.
Okay.
Because you're just like, it's not even this yokai. Let me get this. But it's not there.
It already sounds perfect for what we're doing.
Spooky.
Spooky season.
It's actually doesn't want to hurt you. It just wants to scare the crap out of you.
Oh, so it's just there to like mess with you?
Yes. which I think is kind of cool for a spirit to just be like, I'm just going to screw with you instead of help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this week we're talking about a yokai called the Noppera-bō. It's one of Japan's eeriest, most unsettling entities, from what I understand.
Okay.
From what I've been told.
Yeah.
It's creepy as hell.
We don't know much.
Noppera-bō belongs to a broader category of shape-shifting, supernatural beings that are like interesting, but also some of them are straight up terrifying. Some of them are straight like just spooky. Some of them are like, oh, murder you. But
This guy sounds like a little prankster.
this one specifically is a
Mischievous.
prankster, but scary as hell.
Okay.
If you saw this, what it does, you'd be, I mean,
You mentioned shapeshifting. I think that would probably be one of the, if I had like an ability, a power, I think shapeshifting would probably be up there. I don't know if it'd be number one. I think it would definitely
stopping time be number one.
Oh.
That's number one.
Yeah? Is that what you're thinking?
So, and everything stops except for me. Oh yeah, I can take like a nap for like every day.
Would you be aging during this?
Ooh, if I snap it and forget how to like turn it back on, and then like,
Oh no, if it's like if you yourself keep aging, your own time keeps passing. Your whatever's going on in your body keeps happening. You're aging.
your
personally,
metabolism still,
Yeah.
yeah.
but everyone else is slowing down.
So like, I eat dinner, snap my fingers, wait 4 hours, then I'm like, man, I'm starving. Everybody's like, what the hell? We just ate.
or you also might be 4 hours. As I'm asking, are you 4 hours older? Because if you keep doing that, it's going to add up. Like at some point, you're like, you say you stop time, like
You die like 5 years before.
yeah. It's like, Dad, the kid's like, Dad, why do you look like you're 90?
Yeah.
Like, I just keep stopping time because I want to be alone for a minute.
Yeah,
I just want to be quiet. Everything to be quiet.
I hurt my thumb. I couldn't snap back.
Arthritis
Yeah.
got me.
Yeah,
That would
no,
be cool. I think that'd be really cool though.
You'd have to stop time and stop everything.
Yeah.
And then I just stop time and just let 1,000 years go by and be like, all right, I gotta still get this crap on the road here.
Stopping time would be cool. Shapeshifting would be cool. I also thought invisible would be cool, but then like,
Oh, visible would be awesome.
but then I feel like when I say that, it comes off as being like a,
Creep?
yeah.
Oh no, I'd be hanging out at my friends' houses all the time. I just go over and steal crap and like throw stuff on the ground and be like, see ya.
Or slightly move things just to mess with them.
Oh yeah, I would do that now.
I just do it now.
I just do that now. I'll like make a picture and like switch two pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I used to do that in college a lot and like in high school and stuff when we go to parties.
I do that to my dad all the time.
Well, yeah, it's cool to do it to your parents and they're old. You like move his car like a couple spots away whenever he's in the store and stuff.
So he's like very particular. So like he has like this he has like this globe in his living room and like this play case of like all these like model planes and stuff like that. So like we'll slowly tilt one, not so obvious, but like a slight angle because he has them like angled perfectly. Might angle one weird or like turn the globe slightly off where you originally had it. My sister really gets involved with it too when she comes to visit.
I think
And I feel like it's so fun and he has a good time with it, but I feel like we're gonna give him like a brain aneurysm.
Yeah.
To get to him.
I can't wait till I'm that old where I can care about stuff like that so much. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, these angles are right here. You should just like start.
This is off.
You should start like just taking his car, like if you pull straight in, flip it around like facing the other way every single time. Be like,
Or just slightly because like
make it so his door can't open.
or just turn it ever so slightly and like park not straight, in the line, just like kind of angle it.
Yeah, but how's he gonna know?
He would know. He would know.
I would just turn it around every time, or slash his tires. Either way.
Sorry, Dad.
Like, Dad, what happened? I did to a guy at work. I pushed the table, his desk, like every day, like an inch closer to him, and I would notice him like as it got closer throughout the year. I noticed he would like start being like,
So you did a long game with it. Like
oh,
you
I did
it.
it for like a year. Where like every day I would see him, like I would like watch him, and he'd be like, he would like check his stomach and like check his like his chair and stuff.
He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I was like giving him a super complex.
You're like messing with his mind and his body.
Yeah,
You're
I hope he never hears this because he'll be like, oh my god.
He's like, am I getting bigger? Or am I? Yeah.
And it was a table, so the other guy on the other side would just be like, his opening would be wider. Eventually, I told him what was going on.
Doing that long of like a thing.
A game, yeah.
That's a mind F right there. Like that person's like just like, what is happening?
I play long games.
Am I losing my mind? Am I getting bigger? Like what's
yeah.
Yeah,
I did that for a while.
Well done, man. He doesn't know.
No, not yet. I'm sure someone will tell
You're
me.
still
it's
doing
been like 4 years.
Is he?
Hey, I do it all the time.
Is he up against a wall? Right? Like
there was a time, the first year when I first started doing it towards the end of the year, like months after I started it, he was getting to the point where he was like against the wall. He never realized it, or he probably thought he probably never understood what was going on.
Did he ever say like, "Hey"?
No, he never said anything. I told the other guy I share an office with, and he's like, "Man, you're messed up."
Do you think he knows what you've been doing? He's doing something like to you?
No.
Sure.
Positive.
All right.
I would have noticed, like, since I do those things, I think about that stuff. Again, like we talked about this in the past episodes. Like, I do it on this episode. I push this table a little closer to you every single episode. You don't ever notice. No, it's a long game.
All right.
Because I think like that, I'm always looking for it.
That's patience, dedication right there.
And it's hilarious for me in my brain. I'm like, oh, look at that guy.
Whatever gets you through the day.
Yeah, see? My life is so boring. Anyway, let's get back to Japan.
Shapeshifter.
We're talking about the Noppera-bō. And he's a shape-shifting yokai. He doesn't attack or harm physically, but his appearance alone is so terrifying that this, like, it almost like does the amount of damage to a person's like psyche, like to their self.
Sure.
Because they're like, how could this happen? What do you think is so terrifying that just seeing it
like
would terrify you?
What would it have to look like?
Yeah, what would be so terrifying that you would,
me personally,
almost drop dead from seeing it?
So I'm guessing it says it shapeshifts. Does it know its victim, or is it like its victim's worst fears? No?
Nope.
It looks the same thing to everybody?
Yes. It's a very specific thing.
Why is it a shapeshifter? Why wouldn't you use the shapeshifting for
it's a prankster.
Personalizing it?
Because what it does is so terrifying that everybody finds it terrifying. What would you see that would terrify you so much that you almost die? Like your heart would, you probably have a heart attack.
Oh, man.
Because if I saw this dead, just from seeing it, I'd be like, this is insane. Like,
well, okay. I know we keep doing callbacks. You show me that one picture. Was it Noppera-bō?
Noppera-bō, yes.
That like
the horse thing,
like without skin.
Yes,
it's like part man. That was terrifying. If I saw that in real life, like and
you could probably see a horse with no skin. You go to those bodies exhibits they have, like those traveling bodies exhibits.
I know, but like it was also part man, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like seeing that would be. Would that kill me? You know, I'd probably like blow my pants.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah,
I don't know if
you'd probably have a heart murmur.
Yeah.
Yeah,
skip a couple
like
beats
that.
there.
Yeah, they have to shock you back. Okay, so let's talk about what the Noppera-bō actually is. So the Noppera-bō, sometimes called the faceless ghost or the faceless monk, is known for its ability to transform its face into a blank slate devoid of any features.
Okay.
So it's just a human, nothing here. Complete straight face, nothing.
Is it?
Just a blank thing. Just skin.
Just skin. Okay. All right.
So the Noppera-bō can be traced back to the early Edo.
Let me tell this. I always said Edo, but it might be Edo.
We'll say Edo, and we're sorry. The Edo period, 17th century folk tales and oral traditions of the time and regions. Although its exact origins are unclear, scholars suggest the figure was likely inspired by older beliefs surrounding shape-shifting yokai and spirits in Shinto and Buddhist traditions.
Yeah.
The Noppera-bō was closely related to the Mojina, was a creature originally identified as a badger or raccoon dog with supernatural abilities. This is one thing that's like weird about the story. Well, this will come up again. We're going to talk specifically about the Mojina. Over time, this term came to refer specifically to Noppera-bō in certain contexts, leading to confusion between the two creatures.
Was the raccoon dog, was that the thing that you got the leaf in Mario 3?
The Tanuki suit?
Is that a Tanuki? Is that a raccoon dog?
Oh. I think it's just a raccoon.
Or is it Tanuki?
It might be a flying squirrel. Because you could fly with that.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Great question. Thank you for asking it.
We'll never know.
The Noppera-bō is a faceless, features a striking symbol of loss of identity, emotion, and humanity. The blank face it presents invokes the primary fear of the unknown. The Noppera-bō are not malevolent or evil in nature and are thought to be more tricksters playing jokes on unassuming humans. The Noppera-bō's primary weapon is its power to unnerve and disturb. In America, we could see the Noppera-bō as the boogeyman. A type of boogeyman.
Yeah. Isn't boogeyman more malevolent though? Like evil?
Maybe.
Usually
I mean, it's such a weird thing. When you say boogeyman, you really mean any,
Yeah.
Another story in America that kind of relates to the Noppera-bō is the Phantom Hitchhiker. You've heard stories about like that, where you have like you drive down the road and you pass the same guy like 10 times and you're like, what the hell? Like a dark highway type of thing. And then you pull up to him and he's like not there. His face isn't there. Something like that. There are stories in America like that, folk tales and stuff.
This resembles a loss of humanity.
That's kind of what they say. I'm sure that's people writing their own thoughts of what it is, but
I mean, no, it sounds like
when we go in theory,
it could be like a sound of like a punishment almost.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But these are yokais that are tricksters.
Okay.
So they're not so much. I don't know if maybe they are spirits that are being tormented. I don't know. Not really in that world.
I mean, you mentioned the Shinto and Buddha thing, so there's some kind of religious undertones, maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely. And we'll go into that when we talk about like the Edo period, and how time has progressed and the rise of the concept of cities and stuff. So again, the primary defining feature is the lack of facial features. At first glance, it appears to be a normal person, often taking on the form of someone familiar or even passerby. You're on the road and you're like, hey, ma'am, are you okay? You're crying.
We say familiar though.
It could be.
That's what I'm saying. The shape-shifting part of it. That's where it comes into. Yeah. That's what I was wondering where the shape-shifting thing came. You said it just arrived. The fact that shapeshift may seem like it's personal.
Primary defining feature of the Noppera-bō is its lack of facial features. At first glance, it appears to be a normal person, often taking the form of someone familiar or even just someone passing by. You see a lady crying on the side of the road, you're like, ma'am.
Good luck, lady. Get it together.
Ma'am, are you okay, ma'am? You're crying. Is there something wrong? But when closely inspected, Noppera-bō reveals its true form. A face that is completely smooth, without eyes, nose, mouth, or any other recognizable features.
I wouldn't like that.
On yokai.com, pretty good website, they describe the Noppera-bō like this. It usually appears in the guise of a man or a woman with his or her back turned toward the observer. You're walking down the road, whatever, and you see someone crying on the side of the road, you see their back. When approached, the yokai turns around and reveals its terrifying true form. To maximize the effect, they often appear with a face at first and then wipe their face off dramatically with their hands.
That'd be terrifying to see.
Yes. Noppera-bō often work together in groups to scare one individual. As the victim runs away in panic from what it has just seen, they run into another person asking them for help, or like they ask them, hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's going on? Why are you screaming? When the victim explains what they just saw, the person replies, oh, you mean like this? And then wipes their face away.
You guys are asses.
Yeah. Sometimes they even impersonate close relatives or friends of the victims. Sometimes a poor man will run all the way home having run into multiple faceless monsters, only to tell his wife what he has saw and have her to reply, oh, you mean like this? So it's like a never-ending cycle of just like, this guy's just a jerk.
That'd be worse than, evil monster coming like, I'm going to eat you. Like, okay.
Or punching you in the gut.
Yeah. Like, I'd rather that than deal with this. That constant, like, psychological.
Yeah, because you never know who's going to do it.
Cycle, yeah.
Yeah. You could be home like,
never-ending.
oh, I'm so safe. And then,
Oh, God. Yeah.
you know, though the Noppera-bō is often encountered in urban settings, particularly on lonely roads or desolate areas, it can also appear in rural environments, blending into any location to catch its victim off guard. So you're like walking through the forest, like,
Yeah.
Person here.
Just enjoying my hike. Oh, who's that person?
Yeah. Other characteristics of the Noppera-bō include shapeshifting. Sometimes it can appear as a friend, loved one, or even a stranger, making a reveal all the more shocking. So,
yeah.
Other characteristics include its non-violent nature, which I said, and its silent hunting. Noppera-bō does not speak, making it faceless reveal even more unsettling once it's faceless, doesn't speak.
Yeah.
The silence adds the extra layer of psychological horror. So it goes, oh, you mean like this? Wipes their face off.
Well, they don't have a mouth.
And then they're not talking at all, and they're just silent.
Yeah. I was going to say staring at you, but they can't.
They're just
there.
Angled towards you.
Yeah.
So there are several stories featuring the Noppera-bō that have been passed down through generations, and some of these are still widely told in Japan today.
Yeah.
And this probably goes into like the idea of like cautionary tales and stuff, but
Sure.
Two of the most famous are the Ghost of the Koi Pond and the Mojina of Akasaka Road. The Ghost of the Koi Pond goes as such. Is that what you would say there? As such? Goes like this. Yeah. One of the most important stories involving the Noppera-bō takes place on the Edo era Japan, near a serene koi pond. According to the legend, a fisherman visited the pond late at night, hoping to catch a fish.
As one would.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, you could take a dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1700s, you probably could get a bath.
Sure.
As he settled down and began his work, he was approached by a young woman who tried to dissuade him from fishing here.
Not supposed to fish here, buddy.
Warning him that the pond was haunted. However, the fisherman, dismissive of her concerns, ignored the warning and continued. Suddenly, the young woman turned to face him and revealed her faceless countenance. Horrified, the fisherman fled back to his village and told his wife about the harrowing encounter. However, his ordeal was not over. When he turned to look at his wife, she too had no face. Terrified beyond words, the fisherman fled once again, never to return to the koi pond. I don't know if he returned home.
Yeah.
But so
this already seems like a morality.
what kind of morality would be about the koi pond? Is it like a saving nature, like
Maybe, yeah.
or
preserving
like
nature, don't mess with nature, natural order of things, maybe kind of stuff. Or,
don't overfish type
Yeah.
of story, or like
Yeah.
or for kids, don't go into a koi pond by yourself,
yeah.
at night.
Right.
Okay, and the other famous story I talked about is the Mojina of Akasaka Road. This tale of the Noppera-bō was recounted by,
Avocado?
Lafcadio Hearn, a well-known Greek-Irish author who wrote extensively on Japanese legends and folklore. Yeah, so this is an author. In his 1904 collection, Kwaidan, Stories and Studies of Strange Things, he tells the story of a merchant who traveled the Osaka Road near Tokyo late at night. As the merchant walked down the deserted road, he encountered a woman crying by the side of the path. Concerned, he stopped, asked if she was all right. When she turned to face him, the merchant was shocked to find she had no face. Frightened, the merchant ran toward the city and found refuge in a nearby soba shop. He hurriedly explained what had seen to the shopkeeper, seeking comfort. However, the shopkeeper turned to face the merchant. His face, too, was completely featureless. These two tales emphasize the Noppera-bō's ability to blend into everyday life and the deep psychological terror that it inspires through its facelessness.
And I like that it's not just the first encounter this person will have. They're like, oh, this thing's weird. What is this? And they go, think they're safe. They're not safe.
Keeps following them.
Yep.
The Noppera-bō is more than just a faceless yokai. It carries deep symbolic meaning in Japanese culture. The facelessness can be seen as a metaphor for loss of identity, which represents a loss of individuality and identity, symbolizing a sense of alienation or disconnection from oneself and others. It also can represent the fear of the unknown, The smooth, featureless face evokes a primal fear of the unknown. This absence of any facial features removes any emotional cues, leaving the victim uncertain of the being's intent. So you can't see an evil, mean face if there's no face.
Right.
You don't know if the thing is happy, mad, whatever.
It's indifferent.
It is also a metaphor for social commentary. Some interpretations suggest that the Noppera-bō could reflect the pressure of conformity in Japanese society, where individuals are often expected to suppress their true feelings and emotions in favor of blending in with societal expectations. Noppera-bō's terrifying yet non-violent nature can serve as the highlight to a subtlety of Japanese horror, which often focuses more on psychological terror than an overt violence or gore. So we're getting into theories. What do you think is going on? What do you think this is? Does it have any merit in like what people thought they saw? You know, when you think about like any type of folklore that represents like the mermaids, you know,
right?
What were they seeing when they saw mermaids? That type of thing.
I think.
How did someone come up with this?
Right. Yeah. I think. Well, you mentioned the mermaids. I think that might have been a parable thing too. But mermaids also could have been like they saw something they didn't understand. Even when we talked about like there's summer sea monsters, or like, what were they actually seeing? They were actually seeing, you know, a massive squid, or were they actually seeing, you know, they weren't understanding what they're seeing. But this seems very different though. Seeing a faceless person, or you see a person and all of a sudden their face is gone. Like it's pretty different than seeing a mermaid.
Yeah, I always thought like,
it seems more like it's more of a parable, and I'd like the idea of, as you mentioned, and we've talked about this before, a bunch of stuff where like, where does this stuff come from? Like changing of the times, or like a societal change or governmental change that big, cultural change that could bring about fear of the unknown. It's like a reflection of uncertainty with people maybe people are having right then, or even it could just be as simple as a parable.
For me, when I first heard about this, I was like, when I started reading about it, I was like, maybe this is more for today's society, the way that America is right now with what's going on in America with, you know, opioid epidemic and stuff. Is this like someone under, you know, was drug use, like someone that's like completely changed because of a drug use, or because you get people that join cults and like they completely change, like the parents don't even know them anymore, the family doesn't even know them anymore. They're completely different. I'm not saying like it's like opium dens and stuff like that. It's like someone gets like addicted to that. They lose their entire humanity.
Right. You said like during the Edo period, like individualism was kind of suppressed, or like your self-identity.
I think that's Japanese culture.
So maybe like that's reflecting like that. Like there's this faceless. It's not an individualistic. There's this faceless zombie person, or part of the hive kind of thing, where like I lost my identity.
Yeah.
Individualism is you're more geared towards the better good of the community or society. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's just go into some theories.
Okay.
Because there's a couple of them, but just seeing this thing, like you're going on a road at night or even a day and you see something like this, even just a crying person on the road, like if you're on a hike and on a path, you see someone crying. That's terrifying as it is, because you're like, what the hell just happened?
Right.
And then
it's a number of things.
You're like, no face?
I feel like I've seen a movie.
One of these before?
I feel like I've seen a movie or something where they've done something like that.
There's a lot of, so in popular media, these are used a lot.
Okay.
Like, you remember that movie Silent Hill?
Yeah.
You remember that, like the scene with all the nurses?
Oh yeah.
That's Noppera-bō. Yeah. Those are Noppera-bōs. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of video games. A lot of like Japanese anime has it in there too.
Yep.
A lot of like the guy that did like Princess Mononoke. Mm-hmm. I think there's like a main character in that. That's like those movies. He uses this a lot too. That whatever his name is, the Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
That group. They use these kind of monsters a lot. I think they're used in popular media a lot.
All right.
You probably recognize them in like.
I know I've seen. Yeah, it's a Silent Hill movie for sure.
Yeah, like Dragon Ball Z. There may be a character like this. I think it's just like a faceless, like husk of a thing that they can.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go into some theories. The Noppera-bō, or the faceless ghost, has intrigued people for centuries, and like many of the yokai folklore in Japanese culture, there are many theories attempting to explain where this originated.
Yeah.
And we're going to go over a couple of theories today, just what they are, not really go into like where they originated, because that's kind of hard to solve. Especially with something like this kind of folklore that's so old. Even though it's traced back to the 1700s, it could be older.
Yeah.
One of the most common theories suggests that the first theory is psychological and symbolic theory. One of the most common theories suggests that the Noppera-bō symbolizes fear of losing one's identity or anxiety over a lack of individuality, as we just said.
Mm-hmm.
In many traditional and contemporary societies, people are often pressured to conform to social norms. Still to this day, still a big thing.
Yeah.
Especially when you're teenage age.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the entire point. The Noppera-bō's facelessness may represent a suppression of personal identity in the favor of becoming a blank slate, devoid of individual personality or emotional expression. This theory is rooted in symbolic understanding of Noppera-bō as a reflection of societal and personal issues regarding self-expression and individuality. The idea here is the facelessness might symbolize the suppression of emotions because a face conveys feelings. So without someone's having a face, you can't see if they're angry or anything, as we said earlier. Also, going back to the loss of identity, the Noppera-bō could represent the loss of one's unique self. The blank face signifies an individual who has given up their identity. For whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because it could be like a family thing.
Yeah.
This theory can also extend to the context of the Edo period, where many yokai legends flourished. During this time, Japan experienced strict social hierarchies and codes of behavior, especially in the urban areas, and the fear of losing personal freedom or individuality might have been particularly strong. I think during the Edo period is whenever like Tokyo started to take, like cities started to become a thing. Instead of all the individual clans, I think that's when they started coalescing into a country, maybe. Okay. So the idea of like taking all their individual clan culture and jamming it together.
For unified, for better, for worse.
I mean, it's happened to lots of people.
Yeah.
Peoples across the world. All right, the next theory is the Buddhist influence theory. The facelessness of the Noppera-bō can be interpreted through a Buddhist lens, especially considering the Japanese historical connection to Buddhism. Some interpretations link the Noppera-bō to Buddhist teachings on non-attachment and illusion of self. According to these teachings, the self as perceived by individuals is an illusion, and true enlightenment comes from realizing that the ego is empty.
Literally a blank slate kind of thing, right?
Yeah. So again, Noppera-bō might symbolize the ultimate emptiness of the ego. The blank face serves as a visual representation of Buddhist concept of anatta, or non-self, where identity and individuality are seen as transient and illusionary. I don't know if that's like this idea of like our bodies are just a husk and our spirits transfer.
Kind of sounds like that.
Yeah.
I think.
Or maybe we're all just the same thing.
I think.
Like a hive mind.
All come from the source.
Maybe we'll do an episode on that someday.
Okay.
The other part of this theory is the karma and fear concept, where the appearance of a Noppera-bō could be a form of karmic retribution, with the yokai reflecting one's inner emptiness and moral failings. In this case, Noppera-bō might appear to individuals who are struggling with issues relating to ego, selflessness, or attachment to the material world. This theory suggests that the Noppera-bō might not simply be a malevolent entity, but rather a spiritual lesson embodied in a supernatural form.
Like a mirror. Like this
is what you are.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine seeing that, you'd be like, oh man.
Am I really that bad?
Yeah. Crap. What's the ego? Want to explain to the listeners? You know what the ego is? When they say ego?
There's
there's id,
ego, and superego, right?
I guess.
I'll look it up.
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
I think I know but I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, do they actually mean the psychological ego, or they mean like someone's ego, as in like
Psychological.
Okay.
Look it up at home.
I don't know.
I don't want to explain it and sound dumb unless I look it up. Crap.
Far past that.
Yeah. Ego is a person's sense of self and part of the psyche. Yeah. Self-esteem, self-importance, which includes their thoughts and feelings.
So someone says it's like, oh, look at the ego in this guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just think they're cool.
So if you see a Noppera-bō, you're like, oh, doesn't that like destroy your ego?
You would think. I would hope it would.
Okay. You would hope it would.
Well, it's coming to you because your ego is too big for britches.
Oh.
Is that the idea?
I guess. Or does that just be like, hey, you think you're awesome, but you're really not. But really? Have you seen this?
What do you know, faceless thing?
Yeah, you're gross.
Yeah, you're gross. Get out.
Look at this. Look at this boy. I'm adorable.
Ew.
Ew, yuckies.
Caca.
Bully the yokai.
It's bully.
I'm gonna
pushing it.
Yeah. Come on, kid.
Get
What are
outta
you gonna
here.
do?
Get outta
Give me
here.
your money.
Yeah. You can't
I
say
keep
it.
crying.
Well, you can't say it.
I can't even see your
What are you
crying.
gonna do about it?
Stupid. Anyway. Another theory is the shapeshifter yokai theory. We talked about what a yokai is. Some scholars and folklorists argue that the Noppera-bō is closely related to other shape-shifting yokai. In Japanese mythology, particularly creatures like the Mujina or Tanuki, which are known for their trickery and ability to assume different forms.
All right. One of Mario.
So part of this is shape-shifting pranksters in that the Noppera-bō could be a trickster spirit, much like the Mujina, whose goal is to play tricks on humans rather than cause serious harm. Basically just supernatural mischief, they say. Another part of this theory is that the Mujina confusion. Historically, the Mujina, which is referred to a type of badger-like animal known for its shape-shifting abilities and is often linked to the Noppera-bō stories. Over time, the two entities became conflated, leading to the theory that the Noppera-bō might actually be a specific version of the Mujina using facelessness as a primary trick. Number 4, the urban legend theory. Another theory is that the Noppera-bō facelessness is a reflection of urban alienation and isolation.
Oh.
Yokai stories migrated from the rural to urban setting during the Edo period. The themes and creatures within these stories adapted to reflect the experience of peoples living in cities. Makes sense because they're all jammed together.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Noppera-bō became a way to express the loneliness and anonymity of life in growing urban areas like the Edo period, which is modern day Tokyo.
Yep.
I should consider that. So this goes into the idea that the rise of cities during the Edo period resulted in the crowded impersonal environments where people could feel lost or isolated despite being surrounded by others. The Noppera-bō with the featureless face reflects the loss of personal connection in such environments. I've said this a few times before. This is the idea that we are surrounded by people we really don't know anyone.
Faceless people.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
In large urban areas, when strangers were more common, interpersonal relationships were less intimate. The Noppera-bō might embody the fear of encountering someone who appears normal at first but reveals himself to be unknown or other. So you see someone, you're like, oh, that person looks like they're nice. And then you find out they're a monster.
Yeah.
Like, not literally like a raw monster, but like just a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they push you down, steal your lunch money. This theory highlights the Noppera-bō as an embodiment of urban fears, which would have been especially relevant during the times of social change and increased migration to cities. What are you thinking now?
These all, like, I think for the most part, they all seem pretty legit.
I don't know, going in the same direction a lot of times.
Yeah.
Like very...
Something, I think it's a reflection of society at the time, right? Like going from rural to urban, or even just like losing one's own self-identity or personal level. I think these all could be pretty reasonable explanations as to why this lore of this thing exists.
We got a few more. So let's go into the moral cautionary theory. Many yokai stories are moral or cautionary tales designed to impart lessons to their listeners. In the case of Noppera-bō, it could be a warning against complacency, skepticism, or greed.
Complacency?
I would think it would probably be more of like vain.
Yeah.
Unless that's what complacency means.
Yeah.
That just means not caring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of settled.
Like giving up. Yeah.
Apathetic, maybe.
Yeah. So then.
Not wanting to like strive for more.
Right. It just seems like it's weird that, I don't know, maybe vainness is still trying then. So.
Yeah.
Some stories about the Noppera-bō involve victims who ignore warnings or engage in selfless behavior before encountering the faceless ghost. This also goes into the idea of a warning against greed, which is a part of this theory, where in the story that goes to the koi pond, the fisherman dismisses the warnings about fishing in a haunted pond and encounters an Noppera-bō. In some versions of the Noppera-bō stories, the victim is portrayed as someone who does not believe in the supernatural or the unknown. This goes into like the skepticism angle of this whole story. Noppera-bō appears to such of individuals as a way to shake their complacency and open their eyes to the mysteries of the world. That's just kind of helping out then. Sounds like it's being a friend.
Wake up.
Hey, wake up, dummy.
Cool stuff out here.
This moral theory positions the Noppera-bō as a supernatural figure designed to teach lessons about humility, awareness, and respect for unseen forces.
All right.
By scaring the crap out of you.
A weird way to do it.
By taking your mom's face off and scaring the crap out of you. Yeah. The next one is the fear of the uncanny. From a psychological perspective, the Noppera-bō taps into a very specific kind of fear known as uncanny valley phenomenon. This refers to the unsettling feeling humans experience when they're encountering something that is almost human but not quite right.
Isn't that a term used for like bad, like special effects or like CGI now?
Yeah, for like bad.
The way people look, they're trying to make like.
Yeah, when their eyes look dead, even they're trying to make them look realistic, but it's hard. Plus, humans are really good at picking up on that stuff.
Yeah.
A face that looks human but is missing critical features like eyes, nose, mouth can trigger an intense discomfort or fear. You want your brain just seeing that and be like, "What?"
Yeah, that'd be weird. Yeah. Where's the rest of you?
Where'd you go, buddy? This goes into this disruption of familiarity that we have in our brains, where the Noppera-bō appears at first a normal person, usually friendly, family member, or stranger, but then is also completely terrifying on closer inspection. The sudden transition from normality to eeriness plays directly into the human fear of the uncanny. This idea that something looks familiar but is deeply wrong. Another part of this theory is that the blank slate concept, where faces are vital to human interaction as they convey emotions, thoughts, and identity. A lack of facial features disrupts the fundamental part of human connection, making the Noppera-bō powerful and symbol of estrangement and emotional disconnection.
I feel like that could play into like the urbanization that they were talking about earlier.
Like, yeah. Especially if you're coming from the countryside, the rural areas.
Yeah, right.
And you don't know what's going on in the city when there's so much more going on.
Right.
The last theory I have is the Shinto and animism theory. Some interpretations link the Noppera-bō to Shinto beliefs in animism and the spirit world. The Shinto spirits inhabit all things, including natural objects, animals, and even human-made structures. The Noppera-bō might be a manifestation of a wandering spirit or kami.
Or what is it?
A kami.
Kami.
Taking human form to interact with people. It's something that, it's a Japanese word for taking human form.
Okay.
Like a spirit and like takes over you or takes over TV. This idea of a faceless kami represents the spirits that have taken on a human shape but does not need or possess the ability to have human facial features. And a smooth face suggests that is not bound by human form in the same way we are, reminding humans of the transient and impermanent nature of physical appearance. This is like something a spirit takes you over but doesn't have the power to have a face or something.
Okay.
Or doesn't need a face in the afterlife.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of spooky.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I'd like a face.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I like faces.
Yeah.
Some legends describe the Noppera-bō in rural areas like ponds, rivers, or forests, suggesting that it could be connected to the natural spirits or yokai that protect certain natural locations.
Hence the koi pond.
Yep. In these stories, it could be a warning that to not disturb sacred or spiritually significant places. So this theory overall ties the Noppera-bō to the broader context of Shinto beliefs in spirits and their relationship with the human world. So, in all, what do you think is going on?
I think it could be any one of these things, or a mixture of all of them.
So why would they make up this story? Why was the story not real?
But so there's all these theories that like they're not actually real things, but it's a representation or a metaphor or a parable of whether it's going from rural life to urban life where you don't really know anybody. Everyone seems faceless, or it's preserving nature or not
destroying nature.
Not destroying nature. Or it could be even like the Buddhist thing where like we're not like you should ignore the ego because you don't matter. You personally don't matter. I'm not saying that's what they're saying. I'm totally.
People don't matter. Yeah, go ahead. Yep.
There's things greater than you, kind of thing.
Yes. The greater good.
Yeah. Any one of these things sound like a legit thing. And like, I don't think, did any of these actually say this thing actually exists in these theories?
I mean, as far as any other monster folklore thing we've talked about.
Yeah.
I don't think it really says it doesn't exist.
Right.
I think a lot of them can say like, these are stories. They don't really go into like theories.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do, they're like, it's a cautionary tale. It's
right,
this.
Yeah,
it's like, it seems like just like any other folklore we talked about, it's a cautionary tale, but why? Why would they come up like, if these
seems very extreme to,
yeah, it's just scaring you.
Yeah.
Like, I get the idea of like, instead of murdering you for using the koi pond, it scares you away, but then it still messes with you.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah. You think you go home and think you're safe. Hey, I'm home. Nope. Faceless thing.
So you slam the door, you're like,
yeah.
And then your mom's like, oh, hey, honey, here's a donut.
Yeah, here's a donut. I'd say that's taking it like too far, right?
Yeah, they're just like being jerks at that point. Like, scare me away, that's fine.
Yeah. I'll leave the forest, the magical koi pond.
Yeah.
But then I'm home. I'm good. We're good. I get it. I get it. I'm not going to fish here. I can't even eat my donut.
I like the idea of that it's spirits that are like, maybe they're not powerful enough to like, they can use all their energy taking over something.
Yeah.
And then they
don't have the power to give it a
like,
face.
Crap, the face is like on their butt, or something like on their back. Like, damn, it's the wrong place.
What good would that do?
But then that gives me like, man, if I was a spirit thing, I'd go in like in some toilet paper and be like, hey, you don't get to use this. Get out of here. Or like,
you're out of luck.
Yeah, I would just mess with people all day.
That's out of luck. I mean, I guess if that's all you can do, I would mess with them. That's what I would do. Mess with people.
You think if that is true, would you just come back and like inhabit yourself and just come back?
The like karma thing?
Like if you're like a wandering spirit, did you just come back and like take your own body back and be like, dude, come on. And then just become back alive?
When you're, what if it like rotted?
You gotta do it pretty quickly.
It'd be a rotted, faceless thing. That'd be even scarier.
Yeah, but it'd be me.
Would you be able to walk? Unless it like decomposed too much,
I was like falling apart.
Dragging yourself to the cemetery.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I could take over like a robot. My luck, I get like a crappy robot that like was broke. The batteries are dead. No one ever charges me. I think this
wound up.
Yeah, I think this is just one of those
cautionary parable metaphor.
I mean, because if it does exist, it sucks.
That'd be awful. That sounds worse. Like we keep saying this, but like the fact that like, all right, you got me once, but you keep getting me after that. Like,
yeah, you're just
at this
being
point,
a jerk.
just kill me.
Yeah,
sometimes just kill me.
It seems like that's what you want to happen.
Yeah,
you keep doing this.
Yeah, that's the point.
It's like, or like days later, you just pop up and you're like, "Come on, dude,
dude,
I'm done.
I'm just trying to go to the bathroom."
Yeah, what are you doing in the mirror
Why are you
now?
in my shower curtain?
Yeah. All right, so personally, would suck to see one.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're just a cautionary tale. Don't really understand the whole losing yourself in the city type of thing, but I'm not from a rural area. I don't really get that type of stuff. I could see where people, some people would have problems with that. Me, I'm too full of myself. I wouldn't. But I could see that being an issue for
a lot of people.
Yeah, who moved to a city.
Yeah, especially or even just that drastic of a change.
Going to college is insane. When after you
see all these people, you don't know anything about them.
Yeah, 12 years with the same people.
Yeah.
In the same house, some places, or with the same friends, the same neighbors. Like, and then you're just like, see ya.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And so you see the same thing, like even in history, it happened. Like, these people still felt the same.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like they were, when you're put in an uncomfortable situation with new people, it wasn't like now all of a sudden we're scared of that. Like, it still existed.
Yes.
People dealt with it differently.
Right. It's human. It's being human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So spooky, psychological stuff is scary. This story was more about
up here.
Yeah.
The old noodle. The old ego, if you're that German guy. Freud. Sigmund Freud.
Henry Ford? The car guy?
Yep. That's him.
He's a pretty smart dude.
The old Model T guy.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jordan, thank you for being here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hopefully in my car ride home, I don't see one of these things on the side of the road.
That would suck.
Would that be something?
Now I'm always going to look on the lookout.
Yeah.
Like, I'm always going to be like,
nice to anybody.
I'm going to go to the store and like anybody turns around and be like, oh, face? Okay.
They're basically just saying, don't ever leave your home.
I think a lot of cautionary tales like that. Sounds like a great idea.
Really great. Leave it. Don't go anywhere.
The older I get, the more I don't want to go anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Like my house.
I got to put pants on?
Yeah.
Ugh. I really like these people that much.
Nah. It's like those old guys that like go meet at McDonald's every morning. Like, every morning they're like, you guys come here every morning?
Oh, he gets coffee.
But they're 82 years old. Yeah. You shouldn't be eating McDonald's first off. You're 82. For the love of God. Go. I mean, come on. Go.
May as well just sit on the toilet.
I mean, you've been up for 17 hours. You've been up since like 3 a.m.
Yeah, this is their supper.
Yeah. Man. Speaking of being old, if you're still out there, thank you. If you would like to help us out, please go ahead and follow us on social media. Give us a like or subscribe or follow us on any podcast platform, on YouTube. Anything you could do really helps us out. If you'd like to send us an email and have a suggestion for a topic, ask us questions, maybe we'll read on the air. I would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you. Please send us an email at seriouspalsonline@gmail.com. You could also get us on any one of the social media that we have. They're all listed below in the show notes. You can find all that information and more over at mysteriousPals.com. That's mysteriousPals.com. And next week, we'll be back with another episode. Theme music by Deathlam.
Yep.
Please check them out. Show notes has their contact information, their the Bandcamp. Thank you. In any case, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for being here, Jordan.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for getting spooky.
Spooky, ooky.
Spookalicious.
We will see you next week for another spooky episode. 2 more spooky episodes this month for this mysterious, spooky, extravaganza, Ramaganza. And that's it.
That's all the Ganzas.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you next time. Same mysterious time, same mysterious place, same mysterious pals. Thank you and good night.